All right, now if you're not into animal messages and universal messages and reflections on life, this is not the video for you. My life is about to greatly change, so I figured I'd get this out now. Now, when I talk about the guy I grew up with, Bobby, see, that's prophetic. See, our house addresses are the same addresses. Both our addresses are very biblical as far as prophecy. And see, the guy that raised him was a non-black male married to his I think that's his aunt, but she raised him like, his mother. And but that guy fought wars. He's real old though. I don't know which war he fought in. But even when we was young, he's an old man. I don't even know if he's still alive, but if he is, he's like a real old man. But he was tough. Don't get it. He definitely raised Bobby. Bob, what Bobby is as a man is because it is this guy. But his name is prophetic. Like I be telling y'all what's gonna happen. As far as the eunuch is concerned in the Bible, and that's what the man's name is basically. That that's his real name. So I know that, like I know the esoteric stuff and the metaphysical stuff, and like depending on you who you are, you're like really tapped into the universe. And I think Tupac was one of them people too. Um, but I'm seeing all this stuff. Like the other day, right before I saw that black cat been doing a lot of weird shit lately. But right after I seen that black cat, I seen Bobby that night, and it was kind of funny because we both had the same vibe. It wasn't nothing personal though. I ain't mad at him, but I didn't want to talk to him. He didn't want to talk to me either. It's funny, but there's a reason for everything. And see, he's a lone survivor. Like all the dudes I grew up with in this neighborhood, and like in our neighborhood. Like I said, there's other locations, but them other locations are not really our neighborhood that we grew up. He's the only dude left, so you have to ask yourself why him and nobody else. What's the message with that? Especially since we got the same house number and everything, just on different streets, but at the same location, just on different streets. So that's some weird shit. So before I go more into Bob, because it took me a while, I really know why he didn't really like me. I had to think back. Like I said, it wasn't personal, just some people you don't get along with. But before we do that, I'll make that the main event. But I just was wondering why God was showing me this. God was showing me that bird, that goose. And when that goose came all the way up to my from up the street. It came all the way to my front. It never, but I don't think it ever came on the grass. But it came all the way up, and I guess it could see me looking through the whatever. So either that bird was sent by the Most High as some type of metaphysical message, or maybe that bird was way at the end of the street and just got real good eyesight and said, "Hey, who's that guy looking at me from the things?" He came all the way up, but it wasn't like I was standing somewhere so it could really see me. But that was just weird when it did that. And then as soon as I went to do my research, it was definitely a message. But that's the I've never seen a goose that comfortable with it being by itself. Never. And he be sitting up in people's yards and sitting all in the grass. And he just comfortable. A she, whatever. That's some crazy shit. So what's the message with that? But they say that's like a shaman. A shaman, he comes into the village to teach the people or whatever, do whatever shamans do. But he doesn't dwell with the shaman, he leaves. But this goose is happy being in the neighborhood just by itself. And I get the feeling if a human tried to come up to it, it may even like the human. But like I'm saying, well, why aren't you with other goose and shit? And I'm sure they'll show up sooner or later. But that's some weird shit. And I know I was meant to see all this because it came up to my front. Like if you understand where it hangs out at, that's way up the street and shit. It ain't like my house is so close it just happened to. And it didn't even come on my grass. It just came up to the front and just was standing there looking at me. Like it had a message and shit. Like I said, me personally, I just seen a lot of stuff on this planet. And I'm sure God got a reason for everything God does. Because God's gonna get the glory ultimately. But you gotta understand what I'm saying. Now I suck at basketball. Now I'm sure there's people out there that can play basketball. Like if you wanted to play a good game of basketball, you won't want me on the team. And even if I was on the other team, you'd be like, nah, I still don't even want him on the other team because we want to have a good game of baseball. This nigga suck. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when I say what I say, people shouldn't get offended. Because if it was something you really like to do and I can't do it, you wouldn't want me around you. You'd be like, man, get out of here and shit. You fucking my day up. So that's why I said why people sit there and get mad at me because I'm just saying, listen, I'm not here for this BS. See, how I see life is it's people starving every day. It's people murdered every day. That's why a lot of people think life is supposed to be a certain type of way, but it's really not. I mean, if you got it that way, I ain't mad at you. But it really ain't the top priority thing that people think it is. And I really think if you want me to keep it 100, that's what the bird message is for that goose. It's like at least you gotta, you know what I'm saying? At least you got something, cause you could sit here all day and say this and say that. So that goose just be out there chilling, trusting in nature. I never seen no shit like that. It's just comfortable. I've never seen this ain't no farm area. Like you might see a goose comfortable in a farm area or something. I've never seen a goose more comfortable in a neighborhood with people than the people are and shit. And they don't be worrying about none, like no dog and no shit. Like they usually be by a lake somewhere and shit. They just be sitting in the yard. They be sitting in the yard like it's a dog. And I be saying, I wonder why the man that lived there don't ever come outside and say, hey you, get off my property and shit. But that goose was chilling. And then when I came down the street, that's why I said, I think that's when I seen Bobby, if I'm not mistaken. Or was that today? That was the day I seen that goose again. You know, it was sitting right across the street from Bobby's house and shit. Just laid up in the grass and shit. Like, what the fuck? So it took me a minute to find out why Bob ain't like me. Say, it's not, no, I know these is messages and it's just strange shit. Plus his name, the man that raised him as his father, his name is about a eunuch. So I know these are all Bible prophecies. So I'm just trying to size it all up. I think some of this is more like personal, emotional. And I think like it's just funny. But see, that's why I be trying to tell y'all. Like there's a reason, and I tried to tell y'all this before. Anybody that really listened to me, I said, you got to understand, God made sure he took Joseph away from everybody. He kept Joseph locked up and shit. And then he did the same thing with Paul. He did it with Job. So you may not understand it, and you may not like it, but there's a reason for everything. And that's why I said you have to understand you're dealing with a God that sees eternity. And what y'all got to understand, if y'all just listen to the way I talk, I always did what I wanted to. Just like my mom do, she been all over the world since I known her. So this is not the type of family that feel a certain way. And if I really wanted something, I'd be like, fuck it, I gotta get it. This is a need and shit. I would raise hell. But I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I done did that. And like, I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but you on a planet where motherfuckers is happy, like saying at a young ass level, like I mean emotionally immature level and shit. Like they really don't want to grow up. They really don't. And like I can't be around motherfuckers like that. Like I said, if I suck at something, you wouldn't want me showing up. Like if y'all want to get a singing group and I come up in there, let's go. Stop. I forget the word. The life you say may be your own. Like what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here and shit. You ain't singing in this group. But I'm the same way. Shit I like to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody just jump. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. Sit down and shut up and shit. So that's why I say can't be but so serious. Ain't nobody calling you. Ain't nobody say no name. No matter how much I get out here, you seldom see me say names. Some of these cats I call out, they're like family. They don't like it. But that's how I was raised. But I don't even call their names out too much no more. Because when I first came in, I would say names and motherfuckers would throw a fit quick. So I stopped doing it because I don't come out here to just, you know, do silly shit. So I think that's what that Goose is like saying, you know, be thankful. Cause see, if you be thankful, you won't be lonely and all that. And plus, like a lot of people saying, I'm lonely. It's because that's all you do is sit there going, I'm lonely. I'm sick of being lonely. And that's all you focus on. So of course you're gonna be miserable and lonely because that's all you focus on. Focus on something else. Clean something up. Go read a book. Or just go somewhere. Like I agree though, because I used to go a lot of places, but I always did. But I always had a great time. Like cause shit, I make shit happen though. I'm a Leo, so women come up to me and shit like that. So it's not really boring to me. But then I realized sometimes people see you sitting somewhere and they just go, this dude creepy or something. So that's why I stopped doing that shit. But then other times I had a ball. Like I said, females be coming up to me and shit. And so I think that Goose's message is whatever we studied, but I still say that Goose is basically saying be thankful, because you could lay around. I guess people done got used to the goose. I haven't seen nobody try to chase the goose or hit the goose. And it's just a time when the neighborhood is real quiet. And I think when you see stuff like that, sometimes they like be guardians, because it's right where that portal is. That's where that goose always be, right where that portal is. And see Bobby again, that's Robert. That's coming as a thief in the night. And then that's what Hoove used to always call him, black ass Hebrew and shit, because he real dark skinned. So all these is messages. And and then the guy that raised him, if you say his name, it mean castration and shit. But I knew that anyway. I knew that back in 2014, because God told me, you know, that's what it was. And at that time, Bobby wasn't home. I don't know if he's home or not, but I know I see him more than I used to. So I think he might be home again. I don't know. And that's another reason why when he saw me, he tried to act like he didn't see me, because he don't want me stopping by. But nigga, that's like well over 30 years ago, nigga. You know, why the hell would I want to come? You got some new toys or something? You know, why would I want to come over your house now? That's over 30 years ago we used to play and shit. Nigga, ain't nobody thinking about your crib and shit. Fuck you. We was never that cool anyway. So why is he the only one here? Because everybody else going, they either dead or gone. So why? And we got the same house address and shit. And that house address is a big in the Bible. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. These are just ways God does stuff to tell you. You know what I'm saying? That's when you really think, you know, he's telling you, I'm about to do what I said I'm going to do. And you need to be like that goose. You got to be thankful, because each day you don't need all that bullshit. But only with me, I just don't like certain things, because I have talks with God. You know, you can't say certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like when you listen to Matthew chapter 6, 25 to 34, it says, you know, seek the kingdom first and I'll provide your needs. But see, that can get funny, because God told me that one time. Because I was, like I said, I'm not bragging or boasting, but I'm making a point. Otherwise, I wouldn't even bring it up. But nobody out here can say they ever fasted for 7 days without food and drink. But I did, because I just wanted my life to be different. Like everything was stopped. And I did it for 7 days. And on the 7th day, he finally showed up. And all he said to me was, He told me to be quiet. Cause like I said, God was always telling me either. Sometimes he would say, shut up. And this time he just put his hand over his mouth. Had to tell me to be quiet and shit. And then all he said was, are your needs being taken care of? And so I was like, yes. And then he said, then my covenant with you is fulfilled. And then he just was gone. And so I was sitting there saying, well, shit, should I keep fasting or what? So from his perspective, he's not worrying about all that other stuff. But from your perspective, okay, that's a need, but it's other stuff that got to get done too. And so that's where you get into like a whatever. And that's what the problem. And Moses went through the same thing. Because Moses had to finally tell him, listen, you got me running everything. I'm old. I can't run everything by myself. And then God said, all right, I'm going to take some of that spirit off you and put on these 70 elders and stuff. So that's why I said you go through these things. But you still got to be humble, though. Because it's easy to get frustrated and be like, oh, he don't know what he's doing. Because Jonah did that. That's why they gave you the book of Jonah. Because Jonah was furious with God. Like, I'm sick of these games you play. Boom, boom, boom. You act like you're going to do all this stuff. You ain't going to do nothing. Why you wasting my time with this foolishness? I could be doing something else. But when God called you, it is what it is. And you got to get used to it like that goose. But that goose be chilling. And I'm not saying take advantage of nothing. But everything's a process. That's all I can tell you. Like, you can just take it to God in prayer. But you do have to just, he's still the boss. Now, see, I thought about all this today. I was just thinking about it, what it was. See, I used to be with Hoove. And Hoove, he just would start shit. But see, you know, you younger. And it is what it is. Because I remember one time, that female I talked to today about, well, it's a new day now. It's like, I think it's after 12 a.m. I don't know. But that female I just recently talked to about all them mind games she be playing. That's in one of my recent videos if you didn't hear it. About the neighbors. When she is a little girl, like she's a little baby. And we was sitting outside. It was me and Hoove in my yard. And then her mother with her in the other yard. And her mother came up and said, why y'all making evil eyes at the baby? And I said, I said to myself, why would she think somebody would make evil eyes at the baby? And I ain't think nothing of it. And then another time we was up the street. And again, right across the street from Bobby's house. And there was a woman out there with her little girl. And then she said it's the little baby or whatever. And then she said the same thing, why you making evil eyes at the baby? So I said, man, you know, but I never put two and two together till now. This is why I'm telling y'all this. So that's two people that say evil eyes at the baby. Now I know it wasn't me. It wasn't somebody looking at no baby. But see, y'all gotta understand Hoover did start shit. Hoover was always starting shit. Cause give you another example. Well, it's a couple of things Hoover did. And then it was some dudes that had a clubhouse. And they built it. And it was real nice. Like a tree house. It was a tree house. We called it the clubhouse. It was in the woods. So you can call a tree house a clubhouse. But it was real nice. They had furniture in there and shit. It was real nice. And Hoover was like, let's tear it down. I like, nah. I knew he really was going to do it. So this is what I said. I said, nah. I said, let's come back and do it later. Let's not do it right now. I was just trying to get him out of there because I knew he was going to do it. So I left, and Hoover came back with some other dudes, like all in our neighborhood, and they tore that shit down. And them dudes came through, them dudes wanted to fuck them up. And they somehow, I don't even know how they knew I ain't have nothing to do with it. Because they ain't fuck with me. But who was like that? Who was always, so he probably was. Like, I ain't see it, because you little. But now it makes so much sense, because that's what Bobby's problem is. Because it was always who calling Bobby out. Calling him Black Hebrew and shit like that. You know, I would be laughing. It's another dude up the street in that new neighborhood. And who used to get on his nerve. But to me, see, I'm a different dude. Like with me and who was my right-hand man at the end of the day. When that nigga was knocking me out, who pulled that nigga off me and shit? Because that nigga was a savage. But who was my right-hand man? So to see him, you know, just crack it, to me, it was just a crack and a joke. And me and him got into it. But when me and him got into it, I finally had to fight that dude because I didn't have no choice. You know what I'm saying? That's how me and him really became better friends. But he always had my back. Because there was this big nigga used to try to bully me. And he was scared of Who, though, but he wasn't scared of me. So that dude would try to bully me, and Who would always be there and shit. If it wasn't for Who, that nigga probably would like beat me down and shit. And I wasn't scared because I never ran. You know what I'm saying? But it's just how it is. Like, if y'all know how many times I be in close calls and shit. And I'm the type of dude, I don't do certain things. Because once it gets to that situation, it's whatever going to happen. But a lot of times, God always made a way out and shit. So what I'm trying to say is, a lot of these dudes, I want to get back to that big dude because I ain't finished with that yet. Because I finally had to stand up on that dude one-on-one by myself and shit. So yeah, so me and Hoof got into it one. There was some other stuff. But he was trying to do sneaky shit. I would always catch him and shit. But I was just like, you know, we just kids. That's how I saw it. We just kids. I never saw like, you know, he's a bad person because we was all the same age. And I never saw, we were just kids. You know, when he would say something stupid, like one time they said they wanted to jump this dude. And I was like, nah, if y'all gonna fight him one-on-one. And I said, if y'all don't fight him, I'm fighting y'all, and I'm gonna fight on his side. And these was all my friends. But that's why I said that's how me and Who was. Like there was moments in our friendship that he was more aggressive, like with other shit. But then there was other moments when I was more like the leader of the pack and shit. So that was our relationship. You know, that's just how it was. So whatever he did to me, it's just kids growing up. Whereas other people took the shit way too personal. Where I didn't take nothing he did personal. Like me and him had a fight, like that nigga hit hard. But after the fight was over, we still hanging out and shit. And but see, certain dudes took it personal. And that's why I said, so in Bobby's mind, because I was always with Hoover and we would be laughing. And I might have been cracking a couple of jokes too. But he just took the shit personal. And I guess even after that, because he would see me years later, I would still be cracking jokes and shit. So I don't think he liked that and shit. Whereas now I don't even fuck around like that no more. Like if I see him now, it would be what's up. But if he acting funny, we don't need to talk anyway. Because like I said, he was never cool. I was never cool with that nigga anyway. And that's just keeping it 100. We was never like boys. Like I was over his house and shit as little ass kids, but me and him was never cool. We was never boys and nothing. And all the niggas that we was cool with, either they not around here or they dead. So you really don't want to see no nigga on the same street that don't got the proper respect. You know what I'm saying? That's how I honestly feel. Nigga, listen. You know what time it is, nigga. Let's not stop acting like you, nigga. Let's stop the silly shit. So that's how I feel. Like, peace out to the memory of Mike L and just real niggas off that same block he live on. You know what I'm saying? You never repped it. Never repped it like a real friend and shit that I can remember. And me, wherever he was, me and him always had some type of different way of looking at shit. And I can see why he might feel a certain way, but you know, if we don't, like I said, Hoove did a lot of shit. I don't betray my niggas. You know what I'm saying? But that's how he was always that nigga that was, and I think that's why Hoove was always calling him out. Cause Hoove made it a point to always crack on that nigga. And see, that's why he probably mad, cause Hoove could see that in you. Like me and Hoove, you know what I'm saying? That's my nigga. Like no matter what he said, that's my nigga. That's why when I had some shit, he was right there. He had my back. And I always had his back because I was going to go upside this dude's head on the ab that he beat him for some money. And he wouldn't let me do it. I had the bat and everything. I was like, man, don't just give me the word. I'm going to fuck this nigga up. And Who was like, nah. He wouldn't let me do it and shit. So that's how we were. So what I'm trying to teach anybody that is listening to this video, stop blaming other motherfuckers. If you let somebody play you out, that's your fault. Stop like, oh, brother Polite ripped me off. Nigga, did you know how to count? Do you know how to, like, fuck that nigga. Like, a nigga ain't ripping me off. I know how to read and shit. And even if that nigga did, I just wouldn't fuck with him on no money level. But I still respect him. He's a phenom. You can't take nothing away from that young man. So I'm not with the sissy stuff. So So that's how it was. That's all I'm saying. So these other people just soft. And I mean, you might be able to beat me in a fist fight, but still your heart ain't like my heart because you soft. Just like when you see me, you should have turned around and been like, let's wait, what's up? He gonna try to be slick. Look over, he know it's me. Then he gonna act like he ain't see me. And I seen a nigga when he looked right around, and I'm saying, you a grown ass man and you still acting stupid. Fuck it. You don't want to talk, we ain't gotta talk. I don't feel like talking to your stupid ass anyway. To keep it 100. All the niggas that came up with us is dead. You should be glad you see somebody from our pack, nigga. Just on silly shit. That's why I said fuck that nigga. Plus, it's been a couple of times he rode by down the street. I know he seen me outside and shit. That's just stupid shit. We could do it again. I owe you anyway for a rematch, nigga. But no sense getting knocked out. At this age, I ain't got no benefits yet. But hopefully I'll have some in 90 days, nigga. So that's how I said about that. But other than that, it's cool. I'm just making a point. She like this other person had that dress. I know her since she was a little ass baby. So it can't be that serious. Even if she did something, it can't be that serious. And even she said that. We can't let this stuff, we know each other. She said that. Which was nice she said that. So now I want to talk about a couple of other things. So like I said, so with him, he's still remembering everything. He remember when we was young, and it was Hoove that was cracking on him, but because I was with Hoove laughing or whatever, then he probably, he still kind of blamed me, which is stupid. Kids are supposed to laugh and shit. And then even as I got older, I would see him sometimes and crack jokes or whatever. So I could see where he feel a certain way, but that's why I said you can't be. I'm not with no phony ass niggas. Like I would never betray my niggas. That's unthinkable. Fuck it if a guy laugh a little bit. Did he ever do anything wrong to you other than crack a joke? Then you stupid. And it's funny because Bobby used to hang up in that new neighborhood with them other dudes. He was more friends with them. Well, he hung out with one dude up there, and the dude he hung out with shot himself and shit. He had a gun and he shot himself. I think he's still alive, but he crippled. But he was a cool dude though. He was the only dude up there that was relatively cool with me. The rest of them niggas up there I was never really cool with, except for the one dude that was in the band. And then after high school, he just became like a like somebody that don't want to work and shit. So to this day, I don't know what he doing with his life. But for most of his life, he didn't want to work and he was just getting caught up in stupid stuff. And I feel bad about it because he was really nerdy. And me and my guitar player kind of started letting him hang out and stuff. And we taught him how to hang out, but he took it too far. But still, people got to be responsible. You know what I'm saying? So if you see yourself going down the hill, you got to get your shit together. So even if you somewhere and somebody say, hey, do this, and you do it, but then you get addicted, even though that person turns you on to that, you still got to do something with your life. So that's like still his fault because she's a grown-ass man. And like I said, as you get older in life, like certain people you wouldn't hang out with anyway. And see, Hoove, he went on to be like one of the most popular people in this area. Like he got a street name. Like he was in my car and everybody was calling that dude. Everywhere we went, we drove all through this county. I was driving. I drove all through that county and everywhere we went, they was calling him like I had a famous rapper in my car. I said, man, what did you do? Like that's how much love the street had for that nigga. And I said, damn, but that's still my work because he came up under me. He is like my right-hand man and shit. And people know me. They don't call me like that. But everybody know I always said I keep my space. You know what I'm saying? And they said Kumo D was like that too. Because people would try to idolize Kumo and he would stop that shit. Because I ain't with all that groupie shit. Give me my space. So that's why I said we held it down. And like I used to cut school, and I have Hoove with me, and Hoove we be in the other school. And that other school, they hated us. They hated our township and everything, and we were still in that school and shit. And they would be saying they gonna get us, but they never get us and shit. And they would like me, I would be cussing out that. I was always cussing out like school security guards and shit. It didn't matter what school I was in. Like if a security guard said some shit back to me, I just cussed that nigga out and threatened him and shit. And they be backing down and shit. So it wasn't no punks over here. And so I think that's what I wanted to say on that. So then that big dude that was always trying to bully me, and who would always stop him. So as we got older, the dude wasn't as scared of Hoove as he was when we was younger. So we was all at this location, and we was all there and shit. And so he kept talking shit to me. So I felt like it was just time, because I'm just like that. Because I really don't like people running their mouth. Because he was talking shit to me. And that's why I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all got to understand how my mind works. My mind don't work like I knew that dude was big, but I wasn't really scared of him. But it was just that every time he would get ready to grab me or something, who would stop that nigga. So I just felt like that was God. And I felt like it wasn't meant to be, because it just worked out that way. So this went on for years. But every time he got ready to grab me or something, who would always stop that nigga. But it always worked that way. So I knew that was God. So I just submitted to it. Because ultimately, what man, I'm not saying, see, I'm the type of dude I don't like to say what I would have did. Because niggas gonna say, oh, you just making that, you wasn't gonna, the nigga beat your ass and you ain't do shit. Fuck you, nigga. So I don't like saying what I would have did, but I don't know what I would have did, because that's just how my mind worked. To me, it was just meant to be. He trying to be a hardcore big dude, but Hoove always stopped that nigga. But I can tell you, like, I never had a problem with niggas, because once they went too far, I always checked them. So I was never scared of this dude. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. So we, like I said, we was at the location, and so I don't know what happened, but he kept running his mouth, and Hoove was sitting there, me and this other dude. And so I did something to that big nigga. Like he was on something, and I went up underneath it and lifted him up and then dropped that nigga on the ground and shit. So if I'm scared of this nigga, why did I do that? So he was hurting. He said, man, I'm hurting. He said, when I get up, I'm gonna fuck you up. And Hoove said, I ain't gonna help you. You better run. And I ain't run. And Hoove said, Hoove was like, I'm not gonna help you this time. You better run. And I still ain't run. And that big nigga got up. He picked me up. He slammed me. I think he slammed me like 3 times and shit. Like boom, 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 and shit. And I still got back up though. And I wasn't crying or nothing. Like I got back up on that nigga like, nigga, what's that? You know what I'm saying? And I think that day, because he never tried to bully me after that. Because I think he couldn't believe that damn, I just slammed this motherfucker like 3 times and he got back up every time and shit. So that's why I tell y'all I love my life. I would never change my life, man. And I feel sorry that so many motherfuckers are so caught up on this world y'all in. Because this is some petty shit from where I come from. It's like a fucking disgrace. And niggas is mad. But you shouldn't be mad at me. That's why I said, if you don't want somebody who suck on your basketball team, you wouldn't call me. Because I suck. All I'm saying is I can't dumb down. I didn't come here for this shit. And when I look at my life on this planet, all I see is a nigga saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. To anybody that came against me, it was always like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And it started with Psycho Dad beating the shit out of me. But I'm proud of my legacy. That's why I say when I see this motherfucking neighborhood, it's like my spirit still running that shit. Even though I don't even come outside that much and shit. But when I do come outside, it's the same shit. To see Bobby, and Bobby still acting like we did when we a little ass kid. You a fucking grown ass man, nigga. Just the fact that you see somebody you known so long. If I see somebody I grew up with, nigga, all the people our age, they nowhere around us. They either moved or they dead. But the fact that you acting silly testify to myself. Like when I see this dude Coach, the thug dude. Now when I see him, it's the same thing. I wonder who's gonna move first. I know I ain't gonna move when I see that nigga. And I ain't talking about fighting. I'm just saying when I see that nigga, he gonna be the one either trying to get out the room or move it all uncomfortable, or his body language gonna be saying something like he better not come over here or something. Like, nigga, what's with all the hype, nigga? You know you ain't gonna do shit when you see me, nigga. Stop the dumb shit. It just be like people got spirits on them, and the spirits be fucking with their mind. And then so that's why I said, so for me it was just legacy and just studying this planet and learning all this shit and all that. And you just look at this, you know. And that's why I'm trying to tell y'all, Y'all, you know, and I don't expect you to be able to put it together. But when I see that Goose, that's what I see. Because that Goose hold this spot. It really do. It just hold this spot. It's not worrying about no other shit. But that Goose trusting in nature, trusting in God, and it hold this spot. And you gotta respect that Goose is like holding this spot. And that's why I see the whole thing together. Now, the prophetic reason why he back or whatever, because one day we came down, like I was taking my can to the curb, and at the same time that nigga was taking his can to the curb. I said, there go Bobby, but we just be moving in sync. And it's funny because there's a lot of synchronicities between me and him throughout our life, but we really never got along. And like he real dark skinned, I'm more like a yellow boy and shit. So it's all metaphysics. Because really, metaphysics is not really about black and white. Really, metaphysics is about the darkness and the light. Now maybe the light was white, I don't know. But when I think they call the light the sun. So when I think of the sun, I think of somebody more yellowish or something. But who knows? And that might be the metaphysical reason why we don't get along. So like I said, so that's how I always saw it. You know what I said? Like I said, when I got in that fight and I lost that fight with the dude, like Bobby was there that day. He ain't stopped. Ain't none of them motherfuckers stopped the fight. And I think, yeah, my nigga in the band, Walt was there. Walt ain't stopped the fight. Like, I would never let my dude take an ass whipping like that. You know what I'm saying? But I took that. But then who stopped it and shit? Because, like, all them niggas I grew up, but they hated me because I already had a car and shit. And all my shit was legal. So, that's when before kids, you know, young kids had cars and shit. That was way before that. And so they just hated me, but I was always making moves. I've never been one to just sit back. And so I think it was a lot of jealousy with them on that one. And like I said, Bobby's just a phony, fake, you know. He's just a weird dude at the end of the day. He's not the type of dude I would ever call for anybody. Like, if you want real people, he would not be a nigga. I would never call that nigga's number. You know what I'm saying? Just based on knowing that nigga. And like recently I saw T. Now T is way younger than me. But when he was a little kid, one of the other kids tried to bully him. So we saw this little boy go inside his house, but he went in through the garage. So we said, I said, oh, T probably going to tell his mother that he going to get his older brother, because his older brother was crazy. And that little boy came out with a golf club and knocked that nigga upside the head. They tried to bully him. I said, oh shit, I respect that little nigga. So that's really all I know about him, is I remember he did that, and I'll never forget that, because that's how it should be. He had to be right to defend himself, because the dude was bullying him, and that shit was funny. So that's all I know about him. So when I see him, I say I speak or whatever. But other than that, it's not like I know him that well. We didn't come up except that we was in the same, like on the same street almost. So yeah, so that's what I was saying. No matter what happened at that, like I said, I would have been blind, because that dude was not going. He just kept punching me just in the eye and shit. He hit me, but I wasn't expecting this nigga to fight like a motherfucking savage. This is some stupid shit. It wasn't even no real reason to fight, except him trying to be a bully or something. Like, if I knew he was gonna do that, I either would have not fought him, I would have fought differently, because that motherfucker was crazy. So after that first blow, I was out of it. I was already like a TKO, and that nigga just kept hitting, and finally who grabbed him off of me and shit. But I would have never let none of my niggas take no beat down like that and shit. That's why I said these is bitch made niggas. And then when Walt let me down, but see, they was all jealous, and that's what it boiled down to. And then so like I said, I went and got patched up, and I went right back over that nigga's house by myself and shit. Not for necessarily a part two, but just I was just basically going to say, okay, you want to fight, but that don't mean nothing. I wasn't even thinking about that shit. So that's why I said my shit ain't never been weak. I'm not with this pansy shit. And that's more important to me than anything. People, like on this planet, people sell no character or nothing. Or they like idolize a person. Like a dude might think with the wrong dick, and then he sell out everything for somebody that ain't even gonna stay loyal to him. Like, I could see somebody that sold out for somebody gonna be loyal and shit. But then the motherfuckers don't even be loyal and shit. So like I said, what I'm trying to tell anybody that's listening, I don't necessarily have the answers to what I'm talking about in life, but I do know God. I do know the Bible. I got answers on that because it's right there in the scriptures. But what I'm seeing basically is like that Goose is like saying, be self-contained. Like, don't worry about that shit. Because if you got real faith in God, everything will take itself out. Take care of itself. And again, now why God saw fit for that dude to be there, but because God is using him as a prophecy marker. Because who've always called him a black Hebrew. And that's what we're talking about now. And we know it's about to be a liberation, then a great tribulation. And there's about to be an ascension of these so-called Hebrews, and then the ones that get left behind get ready to go into the great tribulation. And that's why I think God left that dude alive to be where he is right now. And as far as me, I have a legacy of standing up against whoever and getting back up. Because you're going to go down sometime. But getting back up. But even when I did that to that dude and dropped him, that shit made me happy. Because for years he had been trying his best to bully. But I was never scared of him. I just thought he was stupid. Like I said, my mind just worked a different way. Like I said that on my interview. The dude was like, tell me something about yourself. Or like how you get along with people. I said, well, when I went to school, if somebody tried to bully me, I wouldn't necessarily fight to defend myself. But if they tried to bully somebody else, then I would fight them. So I always been that way. So that dude, I'm glad Who did stop. Because if Who wasn't there, it probably would have been way worse. But at the same, I was never scared of that nigga. So that day, when I lifted his ass up and dropped him and shit, it's like, yeah, that's for all them motherfucking years of you running your mouth. And he's like, I'm going to get you. Because he was in pain and shit. He's like, I'm going to get you. He said, you better run. So I ain't run. Then Who was like, go ahead and run and shit. You better run. I ain't going to help you this time. I said, nah, I ain't running. That nigga got up and did what he did. And I just got back up like, that's supposed to be something and shit. Like, and he couldn't believe it. Like, I just slammed this motherfucker 3 times on the fucking, and this nigga got back up every time and shit. And just looked at me. And I was hurting. I was hurting too, because I like fucked him up because he was hurting. He was just sitting there. When I did his ass, he sat there till he felt better. He like, I'm going to get you. I said, all right. Go for it, homie. Let's finally find out what you got, because for years you've been saying you going to fuck me up. Let's see what you got, my nigga. So Gat was never no bitch ass. That's more important to me. Y'all got to understand that's more important to me than all this simple ass shit I done seen on this planet. And I don't mean to be offensive to nobody, but it's still going to be simple ass shit. I even told my mother a long time, in 1998, I told my mother, when I die, I want you to write on the tombstone, he was never a punk and shit. Because that was more important to me. Because this planet, it's just something wrong with it, nigga. It's like something wrong with it. And I'm just being nice, but it's something wrong with this motherfucker. Like, it's just like, the shit that should be important ain't important. Like integrity, obeying God, putting God first. None of that shit's important. But everybody like to fake it like it is. And they get mad when you tell them the truth about it. So that's why I said, when I see people with backbone, that got some character, and they ain't afraid to stand up for what they believe, I really respect that. Now, there's a lot of people that got bravery, but it's for the wrong stuff. Like I said, God come first. But people got bravery maybe for another person or something they might believe. But you should never have more bravery for other stuff than God. God come first. So, I don't know. So like I said, that was on my mind just because of just shit going on. So in this video, I just wanted to see, well, what message is God basically trying to tell me? And I don't know. Like I said, that's the best I could do. Just keep your integrity. I get that. Get your character up. And stay away from lame brain niggas. You know what I'm saying? Just stay away from dudes. And never, which I never was. and never be afraid of somebody running their mouth. Because if they run in their mouth, they probably weak anyway. Because a real dude, you would never see it coming. Because he ain't got to tell you, I'm going to bully you, and I'm going to get you, and that's somebody trying to play mind game. Even 50 said that. When 50 first came out, they asked him a question about, people that don't like him and shit like that. 50 said, if I let somebody scare me that ain't nowhere around me, he said, that's my fault. He said, I would be stupid to let that happen. Like when you get scared because somebody said they're going to hit, when I see him and all that silly shit. So we just living our life, and I'm glad. And people try to make it seem like, oh, what you talk about, or no, nigga, that's my whole life. That's why one time I was in a bar one night, and I was talking to this dude, and I was talking about how I came up, and the female, she said, oh, why you talking about that? You talking about stupid stuff when you was little. You a grown-ass man. You sound real stupid. Nah, that's what made me. You understand? Not none of this fake ass religion damn sure ain't made me, because that's a bunch of bitch booty faggots. Lying-ass motherfuckers. Do every ungodly thing under the sun, but they want to put the name of God in their mouth. So that ain't teach me shit. Politics is for weak-ass motherfuckers. You say one thing, do another, you say anything. So that's why I said. So that's why when I think of shit like that, I don't know what, but that's how I see it. That's how I always saw Bob. To be honest with you, and then, not saying he was friends with that dude that shot himself. Now he was real good friends with that dude, but the reason why he was real good friends with that dude because that dude got him a lot of women and shit. And then he had another dude he was real good friends with around the corner. That was somebody else. But Bob was never what I would call a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? Like who was a shit? No matter what, we all got our faults or whatever. But who was a stand-up nigga? You know what I'm saying? I can't say that he wasn't. And that's why the streets love that nigga so much. I never seen the streets show nobody. You gotta understand, I was on TV, so I would be in the streets and shit. I never saw the streets go that crazy for one nigga. And I drove all over with him in my car. And no matter where we went, the moment they looked at my car and seen him, the streets was flipping the fuck out. Like it was some famous nigga. Like Nat Turner or some motherfucker that really meant something. So that's why I said. And I thank God. What I'm trying to tell y'all, because this was just me being a kid. I never knew that I would be looking back on my life. And I think that's why he made me see Bobby. To look back on, my life. And that's what I get out of that. Like, no disrespect to Bob, but he would be like the no-no. The no-no. Like if I could go back and they push buttons of people never to ever meet him, he'd probably be on a get the fuck out of here list. Because he always had a problem, Like, I don't know. He was just one of them niggas. Like, he always had to have some type of problem and shit. And I don't know nobody else I came up with that was that much. Like I'm saying, it's just the way you do something. But he will always take it to that other level. Just like now, you see me, you know it's me, just wave or something. But he's so sure I'm going to stop or say something. And what if I did, nigga? Which I was busy anyway. I didn't want to talk to you anyway. Just, he always got to take it to the stupid level. And, so that's it. So when I see that, that's why I say peace out to whoever I came up with and shit. But it's a new neighborhood now. It is what it is. But that's why I said you don't make the same mistakes. That's why I'm glad he stay down there. I stay up here. And we don't never really see each other in case I just happen to be going by. And I would still toot the horn for whatever, keep it moving. But I wouldn't necessarily stop and have a conversation with him and shit. Because I just get that same feeling that this nigga's a snake. Like, that's how I honestly feel like that's not somebody you want to have a conversation with and shit. Especially at this time. Call it my intuition, but that's how I honestly feel. So I'm going to stay the way I was trained to. Non-political. Living one day at a time, because that's all I could do. Really. And, with this thing that's about to happen, it'll change things for, who knows how long. I can't even estimate. And I guess that's another thing, too. Psychologically, maybe metaphysically, spiritually, maybe I'm getting ready because things is about to change. I don't know. So that might be a reason, too. So I seldom do videos like this one. But I don't know, seeing that Goose, it really, it made me, it took me somewhere. Cause I never seen that before in my whole life of living. I've never seen no Goose hang out in a neighborhood by itself, to the point that, for all I know, it could be out there now. It could be out there sitting on somebody's grass out there now. I ain't never seen no shit like that. So that was interesting. So I think the Goose represents just trusting in God and not overreacting. And then the other dude, he's more like the negative thinking type. And again, not saying he a bad dude. I can't really say that. But just looking back, he never had no character. He was not the type of dude you would depend on nothing. And that's it. Like, and that's real. And I hate to say that, cause like I came up with a lot of niggas coming out of the hood, coming out of our hood. But he's like one nigga like, hell no. Like, I would not fuck with that nigga on any level and shit. So that's kind of what I'm getting out of it. And sometimes you get some information, you don't know why it's being given to you, but then in the future you'll know. But I think somebody's just telling me, because plus, now that I understand metaphysics, it's obviously some type of positive energy, negative energy going on and shit. He like the anti-Gary and shit. Same numbers on the house. I'm on one end, he's on another end. The goose was across the street from his house and shit. It's like too much. It's just too much shit saying, be careful and shit. And I don't know why, but that's just the vibe I'm getting. And it's a whole lot of shit. Like, I used to work with this dude named King. And King was like a pain in the ass. And then when King found out I knew Hoove, he was always saying shit. So when I finally got to see Hoove, I said, what's up with King? Hoove said, don't fuck with that nigga. And I used to actually be over King's house and shit. And Hoove was like, don't fuck with. He never told me why, but he said, don't fuck with that nigga. So so that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. It's like it's almost like Hoove talking to me now and shit. Cause like where that Goose was sitting across from Bobby's house, that's where Hoove and Bobby had that fight and shit. And that's when his father said, hit him in the head, Bobby. And then I was just talking about the head wound on the Book of Revelation. So I don't know. But it was right in that area. But that's what I'm getting metaphysically speaking. Something is saying to me, by any means necessary, don't fuck with that nigga. Don't be nowhere around him and shit. Because why is he the only one left? Like, he's the sole survivor, other than me. All the other motherfuckers that we grew up with, they either dead or moved out the neighborhood. So why he the only one left and shit? So to me, that's some more assassin shit. So like that person that contacted me today was on, or early, yesterday, it's a new day. It's early in the morning, it's a new day. But that person was on some crazy shit. She had her fucking mind and shit. So, leave them motherfuckers right where you see them. And that's why I really don't move like I used to. Because first off, we got a whole lot of new motherfuckers in the neighborhood. And anything could happen at any given moment. And then you mind your own business, you might see a nigga like that. And then you don't know what that nigga might try. You don't know what I'm not putting him down. I'm not saying he was a bad dude, but I just, in my intuition. And it makes sense to me now. Because we never got along. Even if we was playing together. We never liked each other and shit. Like, he never got along with that nigga. Ever. He's somebody to take everything you do and take it to a whole nother level and shit. And that motherfucker, he the only one still around and shit. So, that's what I think that's up. Maybe that's what that Goose was trying to do. And keep in mind, I saw that black cat right before I saw the black Hebrew and shit. Because that's how I see it. I say Hoove seen something in him. That Hoove knew, this dude is. Because Hoove, like me and Hoove cracked, but it never got that serious. But he always took the shit personal. Like who cares? Just a joke, nigga. Why y'all niggas so uptight? And then he was hanging up with them same dudes, because we didn't really get along with them dudes in that new neighborhood. But he was always hanging with them niggas. So you selling out your neighborhood and shit. I just don't like this. The shit that nigga did. And somebody said you gonna keep talking shit, that nigga gonna come whip your ass again. I hope not. I don't know if I can take another beat down, nigga. So finally, it was another dude we came up with. But he was in the other neighborhood. Hoover used to crack on him. And he used to get real mad. Like, I never understood. It was just a crack. These motherfuckers used to unbelievably get crazy mad. So I seen that dude later. This is like 25 years later. 25 years later. And I was just driving around the neighborhood. I seen that dude up there in what I call a new neighborhood. So I stopped him to say hello or whatever. So he starts talking and he goes into this long ass thing about, yeah, I wish somebody would try that shit they did when we was kids. And he really going in. Like, he really upset and shit. So he like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he get madder and madder because the more he think about it, the madder he's getting. But again, he's really mad at who? It wasn't me. The fuck you getting mad at me for? So then he get mad. So he's starting to get really aggressive, in my face. So I kind of backed up and moved to the side. So then this nigga moves to the side. And I'm saying to myself, ain't no way in hell me and this nigga getting into no fight for some shit that happened like 25 years ago. These motherfuckers be crazy. But I'm still a real nigga. Like, nigga, you should know better. You know what I'm capable of, nigga. You should know. You ain't never see me take... You see me take one L. And what I do, I got back up and went right back to that motherfucker. Other than that, you ain't never see me take no L's. Nobody give a fuck about you huffing and puffing and shit. Nigga, you sound stupid. You mad about some joke somebody said on you 25 years ago. And it was a joke. You should have got him. That's why I said you used to be in a car with all of us. You could have punched any one of us in the face. You ain't touched nobody. Now all of a sudden, 25 years later, now you a tough guy. And just for the record, he still ain't do shit. Okay, so if you that mad and you in my face and I move out and you move in my face again, why ain't you just hit me? You understand? I'm one of them niggas. Like, hit me, nigga. Like, that big motherfucker, you gonna get me, you ain't never get me. And then that one day, if anybody got anybody, I got you. I'm the one that lifted you up and you went down. And then when you finally got up, you did get me 3 times and I got back up. Now what? And then ever since then, even that nigga stopped fucking with me. So all these tough guys with the big mouths and shit. Gat's not with it. And like I said, the purpose of the video, for anybody saying, damn, why you even come out here with that video? Because I got shit going on. My life's about to change. And for some reason, it's the information I'm getting from the universe. Keep an eye on this dude, because you can't trust him. And also, stay in the lane. Stay in the lane that God put you in. That's what the Goose is saying. Stay in the lane that God put you in. So I understand that too. Because like I said, we don't know how things are going to go. But the way I see it, I think it's going to go one way. But God may stop it. I don't know. Because I got my prayer on. Because the dude, when he called me, see, the reason why that place fucked up, because they didn't tell me I was going to get all this online stuff I had to fill out. See, if they had told me, I would have been ready. And I would have rescheduled. But see, I hate when I'm already got a schedule and somebody come up at the last minute with all this extra shit. Because it fucks me up. So they never called. So nobody ever told me nothing. Other than the conversation. But I respect it because at least, he kept his word. They just seen I got a lot of experience and shit. And so that's when they noticed I filled out the first one. But today I was like, fuck that. I got other shit I needed to do. I got a lot of outside work I need to do. I said, I'll fill this shit out. Like, that's how I be, because I'm real scheduled. And I don't like people doing shit like that. Like, give me some type of heads up so I know how to prepare for it. So then that's when he called me on the phone. I just happened to pick up, because usually my phone don't either be on, or I don't even pick up my phone. But when I saw that number, I just seen it. I didn't know it was him, though. I don't remember the phone number, but I know it was local. So that's when I took it, and that's when he told me he was, and told me, well, we really need you to fill this out now, and blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, whatever. Now, since they making some type of whatever, now I do it, because now I got some better understanding. And plus, they made it more technical. Like, I don't know what these people going to do, but they're talking about background check and all that. It's basically the same information I already gave you. Resume and reference and shit. So I don't know what else y'all going to ask me for. But, they making it all like, they was making it way too technical. And it was the same pay. Really, that dude could have gave him my paper. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have to fill it out because they could have had it from him. But so hopefully that was enough for them to do whatever they got to do. But if not, like I said, I ain't worrying about it. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. Y'all might not be able to see it, but I'm intuitive. And you know, like even like a lot of people have come back to the neighborhood that ain't been here in a minute. So it's just a frequency that I'm getting. And like I said, what happened with that female, she had to be told it's time for you to stop doing that. It's been 7 years when you do that stupid ass shit. You know, it's offensive. So stop doing it. So she had to be told today was just a day for just shutting niggas down. And that's all I did. If you see all these videos I put out, it was basically like just shutting motherfuckers down. Because it's about to be a change. I don't know. It might be going on in your life. That's why I said, if you listen to this video this far, maybe it might be something going on in your life as well. So that's why I drop a video like that. People might say, well, why is he out here talking and all that? Because I'm getting shit clear because my life look like it's about to change. And you got to know how to keep people at a distance. And that's what that Goose is trying. That's the Goose message. She ain't fucking with nobody. She be in her own little thing. But she every day, she at peace. She don't be rushing. She sit over here in somebody's little in front of their house. And she come over here and sit. Then she go back. That's her main spot is over there. Where I always see it. Right there, that little portal area. She always sit over there. But she lay down in that area and shit. But she ain't with all that. So, like I said, she on one side, relaxed, calm and cool. And then you got Bobby, Bobby just always, he just ain't that type of nigga you can have a conversation with. Because no matter what you trying to say, he's going to try to take it back to the old days. Which, I mean, I was a comedian, but I don't see nothing wrong with that. We was having fun. Like last time, every time I see Hoobie, he's still laughing and shit. So I think some people just overreacted to him. But he did do some shit that he shouldn't have did. He shouldn't have broke down that clubhouse. And he did some other shit because he was always into some shit. That part I admit. But all these niggas wilding, it was just a joke. That ain't his fault. I'm glad. I thank God that I was able to come up with somebody like who. Because we was like, in our neighborhood, once we took this motherfucker over, it was comedy. And niggas would be saying, your neighborhood's soft and shit. Nah, we just ain't like, y'all want to fight everybody and y'all want to be acting silly. Like, I'm trying to build a legacy. Like, I want to look back and be laughing. You know, we had a good time. I'm still laughing at the shit we did. Like, K-San said to me, K-San said, man, I be watching TV. And everything they did on TV, we already did it. I said, I know. Because that was my goal, to have fun with my life. And then K-San said, but we was funnier. I said, I know. You understand? That's all we did was cracking jokes. And like, peace out to Terry P. Terry P was the greatest comedian of all time. One time I was up in this bar up the hill, because our neighbor got a lot of white people and stuff. So they was at this bar and I was there with the dudes, because the dudes I hung out with, they made a lot of money up in them places. And I was there and this dude was cracking a joke. And I knew he learned his jokes from Terry P. Because Terry P lived right next to me. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that was a Terry P joke and shit. So I said to this white dude, I'd never seen him before. I said, what you think about Terry P? And that white boy said he was the greatest man to ever walk on the planet. Like Terry B was that dude. Terry P was that dude. So that's what I'm saying. That was our legacy. You know, don't be all serious. Have fun and keep it that way. And if a nigga can't take a joke, then fuck you and shit. If you get all violent because somebody cracked a little joke, there's something wrong with you. It's just a joke. Now there's a difference between a joke and disrespect. Because now I will fly out for the nigga depending on who it is. If he got a habit of saying some sneaky shit, I will check that nigga. Because it's not a joke. You trying to say some subliminal shit. And you trying to act like it's just a joke. But it's not a joke, dude. And I know the difference. So I have stepped a few dudes on that one. Because I know what they saying. First off, it's a lie. And second off, it's based on some sneaky shit. It's not like a joke. It's like you trying to say something. But again, I stepped to him like a man. Now you got Razik. This nigga, he want to fight for some shit somebody said 25 years ago. Why didn't you step to him then? So that's why I just love my life. Because I ain't never been with that bitch shit. And that's more important to me than anything. All this other shit, listen. You gonna have it 1 minute, you ain't gonna have it the next. You gonna have that broad 1 minute, you ain't gonna have that broad the next. Bro might sleep with another nigga, you gonna have to deal with it. Like all that shit that people be selling their integrity out for. And kissing somebody's ass and shit. Like, I'm thank God up to this point I haven't had to do that. I'm so glad. I thank God for that. And it make a difference because, like I said, I've affected this whole fucking planet. Because all my shit, all over. From writing, or faith writers, to being on TV from 98 to like 202, to what I do out here. See, it's affected like worldwide. And you can't have that kind of effect if you fake. Or at some time when people find out you faking shit, then everything you ever said, it ain't gonna matter to them. Because they're gonna be like, oh, that nigga fake. But they can't say that shit with me. They could say it, but they ain't got no proof. They just running their fucking mouth because it's not true. So, I love it, y'all. I love it. So that's why I said I had to do that, because that's where the universe took me. Back to the neighborhood, back to my upbringing. To know to stay away from snakes or anybody that could possibly be a snake. Like, leave that nigga alone. Don't even try not to ride past that nigga's house. Or before I ride down there, to look to see if I see that nigga. And then I don't go. Because it's going to be a bad vibe and a bad frequency and shit. Don't even fuck with that nigga. And Hoove was right. Because Hoove was always calling that nigga out. And like I said, I ain't know. But Hoove was right. And like with Hoove, his background was this. Him and his family went to Mount Carmel. And he was like a spiritual dude. But we both, like, we played on each other. Like, I guess I learned a lot of shit from Hoove, but Hoove learned a lot of shit from me. And I mean, if I seen him now, we might not even speak. Because, like, he was into the game for a long time. And the game changed you. Because you got to watch out who you be around and you change. And that's why he got out of Jersey and shit. He down south. But for the moment in time, I didn't realize how important he was till now. But see, I always stood on both my own feet, so I never need another nigga. That's why I said, when he stopped that big nigga from grabbing me, at some point I would have had to fight him anyway. So I just didn't see it that way. I was just waiting for the moment. Because I'm more like that type of nigga. I'm waiting for the moment. I don't care about you going to get me. You said you're going to get me. I don't care. I'm not going to be scared of you talking that crazy shit. When we there, we're going to see what happened. And like I said, so far, if I lost the fight, I lost the fight. But I was still out there hanging out. It ain't like I lost the fight, ran home or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when me and that big dude finally did get it on, I was still standing. After 3, on some WWE shit. This nigga was hitting me with the super slam and shit. 3 of them up. I still got back up on some fucking main eventer and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, this is GAT all day. And that's before I was GAT, but those was my early days. So that's what I'm about. Now, if it sound a certain way, I can't care. But very few niggas can say that. I mean, there are real niggas that can say it. But them is real niggas. Because everybody else be lying. And if you got to lie about your background and your history, then you's a bitch ass fucking clown anyway. Because you can't even tell the world who you really are. I got no problem. You got good days and bad days, nigga. But like John Gotti, I can look in that fucking mirror. If y'all seen that movie, John Gotti said, I have to be able to look at myself in the mirror. I can look in that mirror. And that's more important to me. No disrespect. But that's why I like the book of Job. Because Job knew he was on point. Therefore, when he got tested, he made it. Because he knew he had integrity. And he wasn't going to let nobody take the truth away from him. Because he knew it was true. So all God could do at the end was basically tell Job, you're not me, I'm God, and blah, 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 blah. And you speaking out of order because I'm God, I could do whatever I want to you. That's basically what he said. And then Job just said, I repent, you are God. And I spoke out of order. And then God restored him. So I kind of get the basic principles, but I'm still going to say I'm rolling with Job because Job didn't fuck him. That was a real motherfucker. That was a real individual. I'm on this shit like that. That's more important to me than all this other simple shit on this planet. Because people gonna come, people gonna go. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some type of integrity. And if you go through life lying about this and lying about that, what you gonna do when God puts you in a situation where you can't get by? Shocking and jiving. You either gonna learn to stand on both your feet or you gonna fumble. Now, I got decades of standing on both my feet, so I'm not worried. And I mean, if I fall, I fall. Nobody perfect, but still, look how long. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if I got it right now, look how long it took and shit. So I'm still going to be celebrating, you understand? So that's my mentality. So if anybody is listening, if you really listening, I just taught you how to have confidence in yourself. I just taught you how to don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. And I taught you if it's anybody around you that's getting offended over a little joke or something, fuck that nigga. Get rid of them. They too uptight. Fuck them. And that's why I said, and that's why I don't want to repeat none of that shit I did 20 and 30 years ago. So when I see that nigga, I don't need to know that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because he been down on the end of that street for the longest. He ain't never come over here. He ain't knock on no door. And even if he riding by, he ain't really gonna want to stop and say what's up. He just on some stupid shit that don't even make no sense. That's how I know people got spirits on them. Because how can you be so negative against somebody you grew up with? What did I ever do to you? Other than be a kid growing up. What did I, so these people out here be crazy. That's how I know they got spirits on them. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. If they got spirits on them, you don't need to be talking to them anyway. Because all they're going to do is set you up. Like that person that contacted me today. It's obviously that motherfucker was trying to set me up. Especially since they said they listened to my chart channel. Okay, so if you listen to my chart channel, why was you on this channel when I said your ass was crazy? So how'd you hear that? So they look, so they're like a demon with some fucking radar. They just trying to get in and find something to be mad about or some other stupid shit that don't got nothing to do with me. Like this crazy next door neighbor, all that tooting the horn and blocking the horn and hitting the wrong button and then an alarm going off on the car every time she see me. That went on for 7 years because I've been so nice. I just left it alone. Then it finally said, you know what? I'm gonna have to just let her know what I think about that. So these people got demons on, they got spirits on them rather. I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna say demons, but these people got spirits on them and they crazy. And you gotta get on with your life. Be like that goose. Find your happiness within yourself. I know most of y'all can't do that because you feel you need somebody to make you that shit silly. I mean, you gotta be with somebody. I never said you shouldn't be with nobody. But the moment you think you need somebody or something to make you feel complete, then you the problem. The world's not the problem, you the problem. Like if I said, tell me something about yourself, and if the first thing you said was where you work at, I'm gonna say I didn't ask you to tell me where you work at. I told me to tell you something about yourself. So when I look at my life and all my niggas that's dead and all this shit, you understand? Like I'm glad. I'm glad for my life. Because I can't change racism, I can't change good versus evil. I can't change none of that shit. But at least I had my integrity, just like the book of Job said. And that's what I'm celebrating in this video. That like that goose has found. They happy. Whatever situation the goose is in, they trust nature, they trust God, they happy. So I'm trying to do that. I'm just trying to do me. I'm not worrying about all this other simple shit out here. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. And no matter if somebody else, like if somebody with more power than you, say this is how that person's life gonna be, you could try to get away, wiggle around or whatever, but your life is gonna kind of be what that person said, because they got more power than you. But you don't have to be weak. You don't have to fall for the stupid shit. You got to have your own backbone. Even like I said, even if you work for somebody, you still got to have your own personality. You just got to try your best to obey the rules. But if they get too crazy, then put God first and you come first. And as far as people from your past or people on a different vibe, fuck them niggas. Leave them where they at. Because all they're going to do is try to figure a way in your life to just try to fuck with your head or try to pull you into some shit. Again, like this person did next door. With all the tooting the horn every time she see me, hitting the wrong button, then an alarm on the car going off, and stupid shit. Because that bitch had some issues, some spirits on her, and I had to finally address that, which I finally did. After like 7 years of just wishing she'd stop the dumb shit. So, I hope this made sense to y'all. God bless.